Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Gaur
Hare Krishna, everybody. On behalf of the Mayapur Community Seva Committee, I would like to warmly welcome everyone to the first Savitri Awards, celebrating the beautiful Vaishnavis of Sridham Mayapur, who have dedicated their lives to serving Sri Sri Radha Madhava and all the devotees of Sridham Mayapur. Before we commence the wonderful program that is aligned today, I want to call upon Vrinda Devi Dasi, who will be reciting the Mangal Charan prayers. Vrinda has actually completed her Sanskrit, her IGCSE in Sanskrit, and she's achieved the top marks in the entire region of the Cambridge board. So we thought it was appropriate to celebrate her on this wonderful achievement. And please come to and she will be reciting the Mangal Charan prayers with us today.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरों वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Vrinda, for leading us in the Mangal Charan prayers. So this is actually the first Savitri Awards that Mayapur has done. So we're very honored to have you all here with us today. We have celebrated Women's Day yesterday. It was the national holiday on the 8th of March. So we are doing the devotee Vaishnavi version style today. I would like to invite His Grace Vraj Vilas Prabhu, one of our Mayapur co-director devotees, and he is going to explain the event a little bit to everyone.
Thank you. नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाष्टदेशतारिणे अजानुलंबितौ भुजौ कनकावदाथो संकीर्तनकपितरो कमलाय दाक्षो विश्वंबरो द्विजबरो युगधर्मपालो वंदे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो 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 कृष्णा त्वदीयपदपङ्कजपञ्जरान्तम् अद्यैव विशतु मे मानसराजहंस प्राणप्रयाणसमये कपवादपित्थै कण्ठावरोदनविदो स्मरणं कुतस्ते स्मरणं कुतस्ते स्मरणं कुतस्ते। हरे कृष्णा। श्रील प्रभुपाद की। Can I start? Okay. So first of all, I would like to take the blessings of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, who had made this program possible today to commemorate and celebrate the sacrifice of Vaishnavis in our movement here. And this is the first time this is happening. I'm very, very grateful to him for giving us this opportunity to do this event. Secondly, I wanted to take the blessings of all the mothers here who are sitting and all those assembled, the Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas here. Thank you. Thank you. Mataji was saying you are a very nice son. I'm very, very grateful to her. So I take your blessings to speak a few words to inspire all of you today. First, let me start with an apology. I didn't know that it was a last minute. I didn't know that it was going to be held here. I think from next year onwards, it should be held in the big pandal there, opposite to the Gita Bhavan. I think that is where this program should be conducted, and probably we will fix it next year. And this is the beginning, so please bear with us, because I see very less space here and there are many devotees standing outside. Srila Prabhupada, he told His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, I had given you kingdom of God, take it, develop it, and enjoy it. We all have inherited the kingdom of God, and now we are at the stage of developing the kingdom of God. And that is why the Savitri Award is more significant today, because those who have given, those who have sacrificed the mothers. Chanakya Pandit, he says there are 7 mothers: Atma Mata, Guru Patni, Brahmani, Rajana Patnika, Denur, Datri, Tata Prithvi, Tatheva, Matra Smritaha. The 7 mothers. So the development cannot happen, is impossible, and it is incomplete without the contribution of all the Vaishnavis here who have sacrificed their lives to develop Sridham Mayapur. And I am very, very grateful to all the Vaishnavas, all the mothers here today. I can't thank enough all of you who have created a platform for us to practice bhakti. If all the younger generations are practicing bhakti today in Sridham Mayapur, not only in Sridham Mayapur, but all over ISKCON, it is also because of the major contribution which many times goes unrecognized by the Vaishnavis of this society. And I am very, very happy to be part of that initiative where the mothers are being glorified and also recognized for their service. For their service in the development of Sridham Mayapur. We are only now in the first phase of development of Sridham Mayapur, which is why we are building the largest Vedic temple, the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. It's the first phase. But there are several other phases of this project. That is the whole Vedic city. More than 50,000 devotees would be staying here. As Pancharatna Prabhu is also building a huge initiative here. Parks, gardens, there are so many things. Mayapur is developing into a spiritual capital, more and more manifesting. And this would not be possible without the sacrifice of all those Vaishnavas here today who are present here and who are going to be awarded. It is not only those Vaishnavis who are going to be recognized today, but all the unsung heroes, or probably heroines, or unsung Vaishnavis to be correct. Each and every one of you are being recognized today. You might not be getting a certificate, but being present here in this assembly itself is a certificate for your sacrifice. Probably next year, we would even better this program. Not only those who are excelled in the service, but even who have done a little bit service should get appreciated. Because we are putting, Mayapur is full of festivals. Out of 365 days, now we have clocked 250 days of festivals. After the Temple of Vedic Planetarium is opened, we will have 365 days of festivals. Every day is a festival in Sridham Mayapur. And these festivals, we could not imagine without the great sacrifice of the Vaishnavas. This is not possible. And we wanted to recognize, because there are so many departments here and so many Vaishnavis in the kitchen with the smoke from the wood oven, cooking for millions of devotees here. So that every pilgrim, as Srila Prabhupada said, nobody should go hungry within 10-mile radius of Sridham Mayapur. This is all possible because at the back end, there are many Vaishnavis. Similarly for darshan, the beautiful darshan, the only one Mayapur darshan, which is unparalleled with any temple in the world. The most amazing darshan which we have. If you see at the back, many Vaishnavis doing sacrifice after sacrifice to bring that darshan to all the pilgrims. Today we are having 11 million pilgrims a year in Sridham Mayapur. And they are coming to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Shri Radha Madhava, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Prahlad Narsingadev. And that darshan is brought to all these 11 million pilgrims. When we open the temple, it will be 60 million pilgrims. It's all because of countless Vaishnavis who were sacrificed, who gave their life in bringing this darshan. Bhajan, bhojan, every aspect of devotional service. You might not be getting a certificate, but being present here in this assembly itself is a certificate for your sacrifice. That is for me. Next year, we would. There's some misconnection going on here. Program, I think there is a delay in the broadcast. But even who have done a little. So I'm very, very grateful. I'm not sure how much time I have. But I'm very, very grateful is full of I'm here with
Out of 365 days,
all these mothers
we
here
have clocked 200 and
who have personally encouraged me so much
after the temple of Vedic
to
land,
give
there is
my
no one,
life
we will have
to the mission.
365
So I'm
days
grateful
of
to all the
festival.
mothers who are sitting
80 days
here
of festival in Sridhar Mayapur.
for their encouragement,
And
not
these
only to me,
festivals,
millions of
could not
Vaishnavas here
imagine without
to
the
give
great
our
sacrifice
lives
of the
to
Vaishnavas,
Srila
this is
Prabhupada.
not possible.
Our only
And
existence
we
here
want to recognize, because there are so
is to
many
give
departments
our
here,
life, to sacrifice our life to His Divine Grace,
and
A.C.
so
Bhakti
many
Vedanta Swami
Vaishnavas in the
Srila Prabhupada.
with the
I
smoke
fall at their feet,
from the wood
take their
oven,
dust, and continue my enthusiasm in serving His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
as Srila
With
Prabhupada
this,
said, nobody should go
I
harder
thank
than
each
that
and every
to
Vaishnavis who are here present.
Sridhar Mayapur. This is all possible.
This is
because
your
at the
day.
back
Let
end,
every
there
day
are
be
many
your day.
Vaishnavis.
And let us
Similarly,
make
for
more
darshan,
and more sacrifice
beautiful darshan,
to develop
the
Sridhar
one we want,
Mayapur
Mayapur
and also
darshan,
to please His
which
Divine
is
Grace, A.C. Bhakti
unparalleled
Vedanta
any
Swami
temple
Srila
in the
Prabhupada.
world.
His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Vaishnavi Sangha ki.
Many Vaishnavas
Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.
doing sacrifice after sacrifice to bring that darshan to all the pilgrims.
Thank you, His Grace Brajvilas Prabhu, for that very empowering
Today we are
speech.
having 11
We are very
pilgrims
fortunate
a
to
year
have the
in Sridhar
association of so
Mayapur.
many wonderful Vaishnavis with
And
us
they are
today,
coming to see
who have
the
been
Supreme
serving
Personality
our
of Godhead,
movement
Shri
and
Radha
Srila Prabhupada
Madhava,
for decades
Shri
and
Shri
decades.
Panchatattva, Shri Prahlad
So I would like
Narasimhadev.
to invite each of them to maybe
And
say
that
something about the
darshan
program,
is
for we
brought
have so many, so
to
maybe for around 5 minutes each. So we'd like to start with Her Grace Sodamani Mataji.
Me first? Do I go into that chair or just speak here? Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharne Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschachade Satane Vanchakopadubhistra Kripa Sindhu Bhebhata Patita Pavendo Vaishve Namo. Pardon me? Oh, okay. Don't need that. Okay. I was hoping I wouldn't be first. I thought you would be first. Your name starts with an A, mine starts with an S. I didn't know who else was speaking, so I looked up the names, and they have much more interesting lives than I do, so I don't really know where to start, but mostly I was a pujari most of my life. My husband did a lot of traveling, and I sometimes held things down at home, even though sometimes it always got really wild when he was gone. I guess it really started when we got Lord Jagannath. We got them from the New York temple. They sent us up in our little Volkswagen. And that was because New York owed Philadelphia for some books that we had distributed. So when we got there, I went to the Pujari room because I knew Rukmini, and my husband went to speak to the temple president, and somehow instead of getting... Oh, okay, all right. We went up to the New York temple.
হরে কৃষ্ণ। আমরা নিউ ইয়র্ক মন্দিরে গিয়েছিলাম।
And New York temple owed Philadelphia temple money for the books. New York temple owed money. I think it was $100, something like that, which was a lot of money then.
নিউ ইয়র্ক মন্দিরের কিছু টাকা বাকি ছিল।
And somehow or another, the temple president decided that the president of New York would give us the deities instead of the money.
তো নিউ ইয়র্ক মন্দিরের যে পরিচালক উনি সিদ্ধান্ত নিলেন যে টাকার পরিবর্তে মন্দিরের যে বিগ্রহ আছেন সেটা মাতাজিদেরকে দেওয়া হবে।
And in the Pujari room, I looked up and there was a cupboard, and on top of the cupboard was covered with a white sheet.
মন্দিরের মাতাজি যখন গেলেন তখন তিনি উপরে তাকালেন এবং দেখলেন যে বিগ্রহগণ একটা সাদা কাপড় দিয়ে ঢাকা আছে।
I asked, "Who's under the sheet?" And Rukmini said, "Oh, that's Lord Jagannath."
মাতাজি যখন জিজ্ঞেস করলেন যে ওই সাদা কাপড়ের নিচে কে আছেন, তখন রুক্মিণী মাতাজি বললেন যে ও ভগবান জগন্নাথের বিগ্রহ ওখানে আছে।
And I said, "Where are they going?" And she kind of said, "Philadelphia?"
মাতাজি জিজ্ঞেস করলেন আচ্ছা তাহলে তারা কোথায় যাচ্ছেন, তখন রুক্মিণী মাতাজি উত্তর দিলেন যে ও মনে হয় ফিলাডেলফিয়াতে যাচ্ছেন।
So my husband came back down and he said what we had exchanged instead of the money, and we had to put the deities in the Volkswagen. They fit in the back part of the car, and my husband drove the car, and then riding was Bhaktin Emily Mahamaya.
আমার স্বামী তারপর এলেন এবং গাড়ির পিছনে করে জগন্নাথকে নিয়ে যাওয়া হয়ে গেল।
Sorry. And they sent me to get on the train. I took the train back to Philadelphia and then the bus. And I arrived at the same time that the car arrived with the deities.
আমি আলাদাভাবে ট্রেনে করে গেলাম, তারপর সেখান থেকে একটি বাস নিলাম এবং তারপর আমি বাড়ি পৌঁছালাম। যতক্ষণে আমি বাসে করে পৌঁছালাম ততক্ষণ ভগবান জগন্নাথও কারে করে পৌঁছে গেলেন।
They are all on Sankirtan. And I wanted to put them out, the deities on the altar and surprise everybody. But my husband said he thinks it had to be authorized. Can you translate that?
মন্দিরের ফিলাডেলফিয়ার অন্যান্য ভক্তরা সবাই সংকীর্তনে বেরিয়ে গেছিলেন, তো আমি ভাবলাম যে আমি বিগ্রহগণ অল্টারে মন্দিরের শ্রী বিগ্রহদেরকে সাজিয়ে রেখে সবাইকে সারপ্রাইজ দেব, কিন্তু আমার স্বামী বললেন যে না, সেটার জন্য অনুমতির দরকার আছে, অনুমোদনের দরকার আছে।
So we put them in a closet after having a little kirtan. We did have them on some kind of Indian spread.
তারপর আমরা অল্প একটু কীর্তনের সাথে ভগবানকে একটি ফার্নিচার ক্লোজেট মানে একটা আলমারির মধ্যে রাখলাম।
Okay. And then sometime later, 1973, Prabhupada was going, or 74 actually, he was going to, I think, Pittsburgh and then New Vrindavan, and we invited him to please come and see the deities.
1974 সালে পরবর্তীকালে যখন শিল প্রভুপাদ পিটসবার্গে যাচ্ছিলেন, আমরা খবর পেয়ে শিল প্রভুপাদকে আমন্ত্রণ জানালাম যাতে উনি এই জগন্নাথ বিগ্রহ দর্শন করেন।
And he said, "Next year I will come."
শিল প্রভুপাদ বললেন আগামী বছর আমি নিশ্চয়ই আসব।
So the deities, they were eventually installed. My husband ran out and got a blue baby's, I don't know, not a bathing got, a place that you bathe them.
তো আমার স্বামী জগন্নাথ বিগ্রহের জন্য একটা নীল রঙের গামলা, যেটাতে কিনা বাচ্চাদেরকে স্নান করানো হয়, সেই রকম একটি গামলা নিয়ে এসেছিলেন।
So they were installed and we were going around them. There were Brahmins in each corner and people had come from all over.
তো বিগ্রহগণের প্রতিষ্ঠা হলো এবং আমরা সবাই পরিক্রমা করলাম
হরে।
এবং নানা রকম জায়গা থেকে মানুষ এসেছিলেন, ভক্তরা এসেছিলেন দর্শন করার জন্য।
Am I making all the noise?
Not you. It's just these stupid
Oh,
devices.
okay. Can you still hear me? Okay. And when we were going around, I noticed Balaram had some smudges on his back, I guess from being in the closet. So I slipped some soap and kind of washed his back so it would all be clean.
তো আমরা যখন পরিক্রমা করছিলাম ভগবানকে, তখন আমি দর্শন করলাম যে ভগবান বলরামের মাথার পিছনের দিকে একটু ঘষা লেগে, যখন মনে হয় আমি যখন স্নান করেছিলাম সেই সময় সে সাবান দিয়ে ঘষাতে ওখানে একটুখানি রঙের চটে গেছিল।
Of course, later somebody made Charnamrita. Someone kept saying, it tastes like soap. So that was how I learned about what Charnamrita was like.
পরে যখন আমরা চরণামৃত তৈরি করেছিলাম এবং সবাই যখন সেটি গ্রহণ করছিলেন, তখন কেউ একজন বলেছিলেন চরণামৃতটা সাবানের মতো স্বাদ লাগছে। তো তখন আমি বুঝতে পেরেছিলাম যে সেই সাবানের টেস্টটা কোথা থেকে আসছিল।
And so we were having Ratha Yatra the next year. So my husband had all these posters made and everything, and he announced it at the GBC meetings here in Mayapur. And I remember Tamal Krishna Goswami was saying, you have to have it a different time because that's the same time we're having 108 brahmacharis initiated in Chicago.
তারপর আমাদের পরের বছরই রথযাত্রা উৎসব অনুষ্ঠান করার কথা ছিল, কিন্তু এদিকে মায়াপুরেও জিবিসি মিটিং ঘোষণা করা হয়েছিল, কিন্তু শ্রীমৎ তমাল কৃষ্ণ গোস্বামী মহারাজ তখন বললেন না, যে তোমাদেরকে এই তারিখ পরিবর্তন করতে হবে, কারণ ওই সময়েই আমাদের শিকাগোতে 108 জন ব্রহ্মচারী দীক্ষা অনুষ্ঠান করার কথা আছে, তো এই তারিখ তোমাদেরকে পাল্টাতে হবে।
But my husband said, no, we've already got permission, we have the posters, and Prabhupada promised he would be here that year, so we'll go ahead.
কিন্তু আমার স্বামী বললেন যে না, আমরা অলরেডি পোস্টার ছাপিয়ে দিয়েছি, শিল প্রভুপাদ আমাদেরকে অনুমোদন দিয়েছেন এবং উনি আসবেন বলেছেন, তো আমাদেরকে এই তারিখেই সেটা অনুষ্ঠিত করতে হবে।
So it was kind of amazing because that Friday, Prabhupada, before the Ratha Yatra the next day, he arrived and he just took off and left Chicago and came to Philadelphia for the Ratha Yatra.
তো অসাধারণভাবে শিল প্রভুপাদ ঠিক রথযাত্রার আগের দিন শিকাগো থেকে চলে এসেছেন ফিলাডেলফিয়াতে আমাদের রথযাত্রায় অংশগ্রহণ করার জন্য।
I remember I didn't go to the airport. I sent my kids instead, and they pulled up, and Prabhupada got up, and he's walking up the walk to the temple. I go out, and I don't know, I don't think I even offered obeisances. I just ran inside, he's here, he's here.
আমি এয়ারপোর্টে যাইনি শিল প্রভুপাদকে নিয়ে আসার জন্য, আমি আমার সন্তানদেরকে পাঠিয়েছিলাম। যখন আমি দেখলাম শিল প্রভুপাদ এসে গেছেন এবং গাড়ি থেকে নেমে গেছেন, আমার মনেও নেই যে আমি শিল প্রভুপাদকে প্রণাম করেছিলাম কিনা। আমার শুধু এইটুকু মনে আছে যে আমি চিৎকার করেছিলাম যে তিনি এসে গেছেন, তিনি এসে গেছেন।
So the next day was Ratha Yatra, and the Ratha Yatra was going a different route that year than usual.
পরের দিন ছিল রথযাত্রা, তো অন্যান্য সময় যে রাস্তা দিয়ে রথযাত্রা যায় তার থেকে আলাদা রাস্তা দিয়ে আমরা যাচ্ছিলাম।
And before it started, Rupanuga Prabhu was our GBC, and he told my husband, don't worry, I'll talk to Mr. Fensel, the policeman.
রূপানুগা প্রভু তখন জিবিসিতে ছিলেন, তো যেহেতু আলাদা রাস্তা দিয়ে যাচ্ছিলাম আমরা একটু চিন্তায় ছিলাম, কিন্তু রূপানুগা প্রভু আমাদেরকে বললেন যে চিন্তা করবেন না, আমি পুলিশের সঙ্গে কথা বলবো।
And what he did was he went up to Fensel, didn't think the carts would fit down the street because there were wires and things.
কিন্তু পুলিশ বললেন যে গাড়ি রাস্তা দিয়ে যেতে পারবে না, আটকে যাবে, কারণ সেখানে নানা রকমের তার ছিল উপরে।
But Rupanuga just went up, he put his arm around Fensel and said, just let them do it. If it doesn't work, we'll just have them come back.
রূপানুগা প্রভু পুলিশের কাছে গিয়ে গায়ে হাত দিয়ে সুন্দর করে ওনাকে আলিঙ্গন করে বললেন যে ওদেরকে এটা করতে দাও, যদি না হয় তাহলে আমরা আবার ফেরত চলে আসব।
So we went and the boys had made so the dome could go up and down. They were very impressed and we went all around. And at a certain point, Prabhupada joined us.
রথের উপরে একটি এমন ডোমের ব্যবস্থা করা ছিল যেটাকে খোলা যায়, বন্ধ করা যায়, তাই আমাদের কোনো অসুবিধা হয়নি এবং সবাই খুব অবাক হয়ে গিয়েছিল এবং শিল প্রভুপাদও রথের কিছুটা অংশগ্রহণ করেছিলেন।
And when Prabhupada saw the deities, he offered his respects. He looked at everything and he said, Paka. I'd never heard the word before.
শিল প্রভুপাদ খুব আনন্দের সঙ্গে বিগ্রহদেরকে দেখেছিলেন, প্রণাম করেছিলেন এবং দেখে বলেছিলেন যে পাকা, খুব সুন্দর। মাতাজি এর আগে কোনোদিনও এই শব্দটি শোনেননি।
It was very nice Rath Yatra.
এটা খুবই সুন্দর একটি রথযাত্রা অনুষ্ঠান হয়েছিল।
All over the city of Philadelphia, except where the cart was and where we were, was raining. I think if we looked at the weather report that day, it would say that it rained.
ফিলাডেলফিয়ার অন্যান্য যেসব অঞ্চল আছে সেই সব জায়গায়, আমাদের অঞ্চল ব্যতীত সব জায়গায় সেদিন বৃষ্টি হচ্ছিল।
But it never rained on our cart, and never rained on Lord Jagannath, and never rained on Prabhupada.
কিন্তু আমাদের রথের ওপর কখনোই কোথাও বৃষ্টি হয়নি।
And the reporters asked some of the devotees, we heard that there are demigods showering flowers on the deities. Is that true?
সাংবাদিকরা জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলেন এই রথযাত্রার পর যে আমরা শুনেছি যে উপর থেকে নাকি দেবতারা পুষ্প বৃষ্টি করে, এটা কি সত্যি কথা?
And Prabhupada said, yes.
আর শিল প্রভুপাদ বলেছিলেন হ্যাঁ।
So that was the Rath Yatra, and as soon as Prabhupada left, the deities left, we all packed up, and when we left, after we left, it started to pour and rain.
তো যেই মাত্র রথযাত্রা অনুষ্ঠান শেষ হয়েছিল শিল প্রভুপাদ সেখান থেকে চলে গিয়েছিলেন, বৃষ্টি হওয়া শুরু হয়েছিল।
In fact, it rained almost all when Prabhupada was there. He asked if that was the monsoon season.
শিল প্রভুপাদ জিজ্ঞাসা করেছিলেন যে ওটা বর্ষাকাল ছিল কিনা।
So then I took care of Lord Jagannath. The only other most exciting time was once when my husband was away, of course. This man, he told us he was a Vietnam veteran. Turns out he wasn't, but we didn't know. He lived in the ashram. And then one afternoon, suddenly he came down with an axe and was chasing everybody. He went right in the office and bang, there was a dent left on the desk, and the boy that was there just ran out the back door, through the kitchen, and out the back door. I think his name was Patrick.
তো আমি এভাবে জগন্নাথের সেবা করতে থাকলাম। তো একবার আমার স্বামী যখন বাড়িতে ছিলেন না, তখন একজন ভক্ত যিনি কিনা আশ্রমে থাকতেন আর বলেছিলেন তিনি ভিয়েতনাম থেকে এসেছিলেন, পরবর্তীকালে জানা গেল সেটা সঠিক নয়। তিনি হঠাৎ একদিন একটা কুঠার নিয়ে তাড়া করলেন এবং মন্দিরে টেবিলের ওপর আঘাত করতে লাগলেন এবং কিচেনের পিছন দিয়ে পালিয়ে গেলেন।
Patrick hid out in the area, the Wissahickon Creek, but the police caught him a couple days later.
তো সেই প্যাট্রিক কিচেনের পিছন দিয়ে চলে যাওয়ার পর সে এমন একটা জায়গায় লুকিয়ে ছিল পিছনেই, 2-3 দিন পর তাকে ধরা গেছিল ওখান থেকে।
Is that it? I noticed some people have things all written out. I didn't think to do that.
I have no memory, that's why.
She says she has no memory. Is that enough? I did get one nice letter from Prabhupada. I didn't know you were supposed to be a temple president to write to Prabhupada. And when I I got initiated, I just remember my mother always said, you have to write and thank somebody. So I wrote and thanked Prabhupada, told him how we had joined and everything. And mostly he gave me instruction. He said, you were intelligent, which is important because sometimes they would say you're less intelligent. I said, yeah, but Prabhupada said I was intelligent. What am I supposed to think? He says one thing, you say something else.
তা আমি একবার শিল প্রভুপাদের কাছ থেকে একটি চিঠি পেয়েছিলাম। আমার মা আমাকে বলেছিলেন শিল প্রভুপাদকে, আমি যখন দীক্ষা নিয়েছিলাম তারপর শিল প্রভুপাদকে একটি ধন্যবাদ পত্র পাঠানোর জন্য বলেছিলেন। তো আমি ওনাকে ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে শিল প্রভুপাদকে একটি চিঠি লিখেছিলাম। তার উত্তরে শিল প্রভুপাদ আমাকে অনেক ভালো ভালো কথা লিখে পাঠিয়েছিলেন, যেখানে লেখা ছিল তুমি খুব বুদ্ধিমতী। অন্যান্য সময় যদিও উনি বলতেন যে তুমি বুদ্ধিমতী নাও, কিন্তু সেই পত্রে তিনি লিখেছিলেন তুমি খুবই বুদ্ধিমতী।
So he told me to take care of my husband and my family.
উনি আমাকে আদেশ দিয়েছিলেন যাতে আমি আমার স্বামী এবং পরিবারের,
Of course, by then I thought of Lord Jagannath as part of our family.
পরিবারের দেখাশোনা করি, তো জগন্নাথও আমার পরিবারেরই অংশ ছিলেন।
So that's what I did mostly all those years.
আর আমি সারা জীবন ধরে সেটাই করে গিয়েছি।
Atita Guna's ready.
হরি বল।
Thank you, Mataji. We'd now like to welcome Her Grace Atita Guna Mataji, and also humbly requesting that we
Hare
keep the
Krishna.
speeches to 5 minutes, if that's okay, so we can finish.
Hare
Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Mayapur Dham. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I thought it would be good to reflect about my life in Mayapur in the early days. I'm getting older now and my memory is not so good. It's hard to remember everything that happened. Please forgive me for any lapses.
তো আমি ভেবেছি যে আমার মায়াপুরে অতিবাহিত জীবন সম্বন্ধে কথা বলাই ভালো হবে। আমি এখন বয়স হয়ে গেছে আমার, তো আমার সব কিছু মনে নেই, তো আমার যতটুকু মনে আছে আমি ততটুকু বলবো।
I first came to Mayapur in 1977 from Australia at the Gorpanim festival time.
আমি 1977 সালে মায়াপুরে এসেছিলাম অস্ট্রেলিয়া থেকে গৌর পূর্ণিমা উৎসবের সময়।
Those devotees doing book distribution were allowed to go to the festival.
যে ভক্তরা শুধুমাত্র গ্রন্থ বিতরণ করত তারাই গৌর পূর্ণিমায় আসার অনুমোদন পেতেন।
So our plane landed in Madras and we were encouraged to do book distribution there.
তো আমাদেরকে মাদ্রাসে পাঠানো হয়েছিল এবং সেখানে বুক ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন করার জন্য উৎসাহ দেওয়া হয়েছিল।
I got thirsty and I grabbed a drink.
আমার খুব জল পিপাসা পেয়েছিল এবং আমি জল খেতে গিয়েছিলাম।
The result was I got very sick when I arrived in Mayapur.
কিন্তু আমি যখন মায়াপুরে এসে পৌঁছালাম আমি খুব অসুস্থ হয়ে গিয়েছিলাম সেই জল খেয়ে।
So the ladies were housed on the roof in tents at the big kitchen.
মাতাজিরা যে বিগ কিচেনের উপরে থাকতেন সেখানে তাদের জীবন খুবই কষ্টকর ছিল।
On the first night there was a huge storm and all the tents blew down.
প্রথম রাত আমি যখন এখানে পৌঁছালাম সেদিন প্রচণ্ড ঝড় হয়েছিল এবং যত তাঁবুগুলো ছিল সব উড়ে গিয়েছিল ঝড়ে।
That's when I realized that Mayapur meant a lot of austerity.
তখনই আমি বুঝতে পেরেছিলাম যে মায়াপুরে অনেক ত্যাগ স্বীকার করতে হয়।
At that time, Srila Prabhupada was becoming weak, but he would come downstairs from the Lotus building to watch the drama in the park.
তখন শিল প্রভুপাদ খুবই দুর্বল হয়ে পড়েছিলেন, কিন্তু তাও তিনি সিঁড়ি দিয়ে নেমে আসতেন পার্কে নাটক দর্শন করার জন্য।
The Vaikuntha players put on the drama The Age of Kali.
বৈকুণ্ঠ নাটক গোষ্ঠী ড্রামা একটি নাটক পরিচালনা করছিল, প্রতিবেদন করছিলেন, যেটার নাম ছিল কলির কাল।
Where the TOVP now was a big park and the drama took place at the end of the park.
এখন যেখানে টিওভিপি আছে সেখানে একটা বড় পার্ক ছিল, আর পার্কের একদম শেষে সেই নাটক পরিবেশিত হচ্ছিল।
No one was looking at the drama. Everyone was looking at Srila Prabhupada.
কেউ নাটক দর্শন করছিল না, সবাই তাকিয়েছিল শিল প্রভুপাদের দিকে।
When Srila Prabhupada laughed, then everyone as one person would go and look at the drama and see what was so funny.
যখন শিল প্রভুপাদ হাসতেন তখন সবাই তাকাতেন, and একজন আরেকজনকে জিজ্ঞেস করতাম যে কি মজাদার ছিল নাটকে।
At that time, I was allowed to take darshan of Srila Prabhupada in his room.
সেই সময়ে আমি একদিন অনুমোদন পেয়েছিলাম শিল প্রভুপাদকে তার কক্ষে দর্শন করার জন্য।
I'm from Australia, and in Australia there's wonderful ghee. So every devotee would bring 2 kilos of ghee to present to Srila Prabhupada.
অস্ট্রেলিয়ায় খুব ভালো ঘি পাওয়া যেত, তো প্রত্যেক যে ভক্তরা ওখান থেকে আসতেন প্রত্যেকে 2 কেজি করে শিল প্রভুপাদের জন্য ঘি নিয়ে আসতেন।
I thought, well, that's okay, but every devotee is bringing that. I want to bring something special for Srila Prabhupada. And somebody suggested full cream milk powder.
তো আমি ভাবলাম যে সবাই তো ঘি আনছে, তাহলে আমাকে কিছু আরেকটু ভালো কিছু আনতে হবে। তো একজন আমাকে উপদেশ দিয়েছিল যাতে আমি ফুল ক্রিম পাউডার।
I'll give it anyway.
তো ফুল ক্রিম দুধের পাউডার আনার কথা আমাকে বলা হয়েছিল, কিন্তু আমি ভাবলাম যে এটা তো খুব একটা ভালো কিছু উপহার নয়, কিন্তু তাও আমি ভাবলাম যে ঠিক আছে আমি ওটাই নিয়ে আসবো।
But Srila Prabhupada is so merciful, so when I presented the tin of full cream milk powder, his eyes really lit up and he was smiling a lot. And I thought, my human life is worthwhile.
আমি যখন সেই ফুল ক্রিম দুধের পাউডারের কৌটো শিল প্রভুপাদের সামনে পরিবেশন করলাম, শিল প্রভুপাদ চোখ বড় বড় করে একদম খুশি মনে তাকালেন, তখনই আমি ভাবলাম যে আমার মনুষ্য জীবন সার্থক হয়েছে।
All of a sudden his eyes lit up and he started talking about the importance of cows and how milk is so necessary for the finer tissues of the human brain.
তো শিল প্রভুপাদ হঠাৎ করে একদম আনন্দের সঙ্গে চোখ বড় বড় করে গোমাতার উপকারিতা সম্বন্ধে বলতে লাগলেন, দুধের উপকারিতা সম্বন্ধে বলতে লাগলেন, দুধের উপকারিতা আমাদের ব্রেনের কোষগুলোকে উন্নত করার জন্য যে কত উপকারিতা সেই সম্বন্ধে শিল প্রভুপাদ বলতে লাগলেন।
So Srila Prabhupada talked for about 30 minutes.
শিল প্রভুপাদ আধা ঘন্টা ধরে সেই ব্যাপারে কথা বললেন।
I just love being in his presence so much. Anyway, on the first trip to Mayapur, we went to the Ganga.
তো আমরা সেই প্রথম বার দর্শন করতে এসে মায়াপুরে আমরা গঙ্গায় গিয়েছিলাম।
I had a mystical experience there.
আমার খুবই আশ্চর্যজনক অভিজ্ঞতা হয়েছিল গঙ্গায় গিয়ে।
We found a tulsi garland in the water. Tulsi garland in the water. I grabbed it and saw this as a sign.
আমরা জলের মধ্যে একটি তুলসীর মালা খুঁজে পেয়েছিলাম এবং সেটা আমার কাছে একটা সাইন মনে হয়েছিল।
The next time I came to Mayapur was in 1978 for the festival.
পরবর্তীকালে আমি 1978 সালে মায়াপুরে আবার এসেছিলাম গৌর পূর্ণিমা উৎসবে।
And from here, my Sankirtan partner and I were transferred to New York to do book distribution.
তারপর এখান থেকে আমাকে নিউ ইয়র্কে পাঠানো হয়েছিল গ্রন্থ বিতরণ করার জন্য।
After being in New York for 2 years, I was transferred to London, where I met His Holiness Jaipataka Swami.
নিউ ইয়র্কে 2 বছর থাকার পর আমাকে ট্রান্সফার করা হয়েছিল।
I was transferred to London.
লন্ডনে আমাকে ট্রান্সফার করা হয়েছিল, সেইখানে আমি শ্রী শ্রীমৎ জয়পতাকা স্বামী মহারাজের সঙ্গে সাক্ষাৎ করেছিলাম।
On the first meeting, he suggested that I marry a devotee in Mayapur.
আমাদের প্রথম সাক্ষাৎকারেই উনি আমাকে বলেছিলেন যাতে আমি একজন বৈষ্ণবকে বিয়ে করি মায়াপুরে।
I heard two words, marry Mayapur, and I said yes.
আমি শুধুমাত্র দুটি শব্দ শুনেছিলাম, বিবাহ আর মায়াপুর, আর আমি বলে দিয়েছিলাম হ্যাঁ।
So that was 45 years ago, and I met my husband Pancharatna Prabhu then.
এই ঘটনাটি ছিল 45 বছর আগে, আর এইভাবে আমার সাক্ষাৎ হয় আমার এখন স্বামী পঞ্চরত্ন প্রভুর সাথে।
So I went to Calcutta and met Pancharatna, and we seemed to click.
আমি কলকাতায় পঞ্চরত্ন প্রভুর সঙ্গে দেখা করেছিলাম এবং আমার মনে হয়েছিল যে আমাদের মধ্যে মিল রয়েছে।
After that, I traveled to Australia to see my sick mom and get her blessings.
আমি তারপর অস্ট্রেলিয়ায় ফিরে গিয়েছিলাম আমার অসুস্থ মাকে দেখা করার জন্য, মায়ের সাথে, আর আমি ওনার কাছ থেকে আশীর্বাদ নিয়ে এসেছিলাম।
So I got back to Mayapur, and my husband said, "Oh, we're getting married in 2 days." That was June 29th, 1980.
আমি যখন মায়াপুরে ফিরে আসলাম, পঞ্চরত্ন প্রভু আমাকে বললেন যে আমরা দুদিনের মধ্যেই বিবাহ করছি। 1918 সালে।
We had a wonderful wedding in front of Radha Madhav,
আমাদের একটি অসম্ভব সুন্দর বিবাহ অনুষ্ঠান হয়েছিল রাধা মাধবের সামনে।
and I felt very blessed to be married in front of these wonderful deities.
আমি খুবই আশীর্বাদ প্রাপ্ত বোধ করেছিলাম রাধা মাধবের সামনে বিবাহ সম্পন্ন করতে পেরে।
Some sannyasis were there, and I thought my dream of living in Mayapur was going to be fulfilled.
কিছু সন্ন্যাসী ভক্তরা ওখানে উপস্থিত ছিলেন, তো আমি ভেবেছিলাম মায়াপুরে বাসের যে আমার স্বপ্ন সেটা সত্যি হতে চলেছে।
But there was a problem. My husband's service for ISKCON Mayapur required him to live in Calcutta.
কিন্তু একটি সমস্যা ছিল, মায়াপুর থেকে আমার স্বামীকে যে সেবা দেওয়া হয়েছিল সেটা কলকাতায় থেকে করার কথা হয়েছিল।
I got a bit frustrated with living in Calcutta after 2 years, and we moved to Mayapur.
কলকাতায় 2 বছর মায়াপুর থেকে কলকাতায় থাকার পর আমার বেশ অসুবিধাই হয়েছিল।
We moved to the Goshala. I was so happy amongst the cows.
তারপর মায়াপুরে ফিরে এসে আমরা গোশালায় থেকেছিলাম, আমি খুবই খুশি ছিলাম গোশালায় থেকে।
In those
Gomata Desh.
days, there was rice fields from the Goshala to the temple. So in the just before Mangalati, we had to walk on the edge of the rice field.
সেই সময় গোশালা থেকে রাধা মাধব মন্দির অবধি ধান ক্ষেত ছিল, তো মন্দিরে পৌঁছানোর জন্য মঙ্গল আরতির সময় আমাদেরকে ক্ষেতের আলের উপর দিয়ে হেঁটে যেতে হতো।
One day, I walked down from our room in the Goshala, and who did I see? George Harrison.
তো একদিন আমি গোশালার ঘর থেকে বেরিয়ে যখন হেঁটে যাচ্ছিলাম, হঠাৎ করে আমি দর্শন পেলাম জর্জ হ্যারিসনের।
He loved he loved the whole atmosphere.
উনি পরিবেশ, মায়াপুরের যে পরিবেশ তা খুব পছন্দ করেছিলেন।
He loved the whole atmosphere of Mayapur
তিনি মায়াপুরের পরিবেশ খুব পছন্দ করেছিলেন
and the environment.
এবং
In 1982, there was only 100 devotees here in Mayapur.
1982 সালে মায়াপুরে মাত্র 100 ভক্ত থাকতেন।
In 1983, we adopted a little Bengali boy.
1983 সালে আমরা একটি বাঙালি পুত্র সন্তান দত্তক নিলাম।
He was only 3 years old, and both his parents had died, and he was just wandering around Mayapur.
সেই পুত্র সন্তান শুধু কেবলই 3 বছর বয়সে ছিল এবং তার পিতামাতা দুজনেই মারা গিয়েছিলেন।
We moved to the Long Building.
আমরা লং বিল্ডিং এ চলে গেলাম গোশালা থেকে।
In those days, I used to clean Srila Prabhupada's rooms and and dress the wonderful Guranga.
সেই সময়ে আমি শিল প্রভুপাদের কক্ষ পরিষ্কার করতাম আর সেখানে যে গৌরাঙ্গ বিগ্রহ আছে তাকে সুন্দর করে পোশাক পরাতাম।
In February 1984, our first daughter, Gaurangi, was born in very primitive conditions in Navadweep.
1984 সালে ফেব্রুয়ারি মাসে আমাদের প্রথম কন্যা সন্তান জন্ম নিয়েছিল, কিন্তু
That was a life-changing experience.
সেটা একদম জীবন পাল্টে দেওয়ার মতো একটি অভিজ্ঞতা ছিল।
One of the problems in the early days was lack of health care.
সেই সময়ে একটি গুরুতর সমস্যা ছিল শারীরিক সুস্থতার যে যত্ন নেওয়া সেই সব ব্যাপারে।
Now there's a wonderful hospital established, and that's very good for most of the devotees in Mayapur.
এখন মায়াপুরে একটি সুন্দর হাসপাতাল আছে, এটা সব ভক্তদের জন্য খুব উপকারী।
In April of 1984, a gang of dacoits came to steal Radharani.
1984 সালের এপ্রিল মাসে ডাকাতদের একটি দল রাধারানীকে চুরি করার জন্য এসেছিল।
They thought she was made of gold.
তারা ভেবেছিল রাধারানীর বিগ্রহ সোনা দিয়ে তৈরি ছিল।
Pankajangri Prabhu took the rifle from Srila Prabhupada's room and started firing. They got scared and ran away.
পঙ্কজাঙ্গি প্রভু শিল প্রভুপাদের ঘর থেকে বন্দুক নিয়ে সেটি দিয়ে গুলি করতে শুরু করেছিলেন এবং ডাকাতরা ভয় পেয়ে পালিয়ে গিয়েছিল।
At that time, our living accommodation was very basic. There was only electricity for a third of the time.
তখনকার দিনে আমাদের যে থাকার ব্যবস্থা ছিল সেটা খুবই ন্যূনতম ছিল এবং বেশিরভাগ সময়ই কারেন্ট থাকতো না।
Then my husband Pancharatna started building a house there in 1985 in the Grihastha area.
1985 সালে গৃহস্থ এরিয়াতে আমার স্বামী তখন একটি বাড়ি তৈরি করতে শুরু করলেন।
At that time, I taught English at the boys' Gurukul.
তখন আমি ছেলেদের যে গুরুকুল ছিল সেখানে ইংরেজি ভাষা পড়াতাম।
In 1987, because of the difficulties with my first childbirth, we decided to go to America to have our next child.
1987 সালে যেহেতু মায়াপুরে আমার প্রথম সন্তান জন্ম দিতে গিয়ে অনেক অসুবিধা হয়েছিল, সেই জন্য আমার দ্বিতীয় সন্তান জন্মের সময় আমরা সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছিলাম যে আমরা আমেরিকায় যাত্রা করব।
We ended up staying there and we had our fourth child there.
আমরা ওখানেই থাকার সিদ্ধান্ত নিলাম এবং পরবর্তীকালে আমাদের চতুর্থ সন্তান ওখানে জন্ম হলো।
In 1991, we moved back to India because we were missing Mayapur so much.
1991 সালে আমরা আবার মায়াপুরে আসার সিদ্ধান্ত নিলাম কারণ আমরা মায়াপুরকে প্রচন্ড মিস করছিলাম।
My husband found a service to do in Mumbai for 1 year, and then in 1992, January, we moved back to Mayapur.
1992 সালে জানুয়ারিতে আমরা আবার মায়াপুরে ফিরে আসলাম কারণ আমার স্বামী মুম্বাইতে একটি সেবা প্রাপ্ত হয়েছিলেন।
I homeschooled our 4 children. I was strict with their schoolwork in the mornings, but in the afternoons they played with their friends and afterwards went to the Goshala.
আমি আমার 4 সন্তানকে বাড়িতেই পড়াশোনা করাতাম, আমি ভীষণ কঠোরভাবে তাদের পড়াশোনার নজর রাখতাম, কিন্তু বিকালবেলা তারা পড়াশোনা শেষ করে তার বন্ধুদের সঙ্গে খেলতো এবং গোশালায় যেত।
Most days we went to the Ganga, but in those days the Ganga wasn't where it is now. You never knew from year to year where the Ganga was going to be.
বেশিরভাগ সময় আমরা গঙ্গায় যেতাম, কিন্তু গঙ্গার যে এখন পরিস্থিতি সেই জায়গায় গঙ্গা ছিল না। আমরা বুঝতেও পারতাম না যে গঙ্গার কোথায় শুরু বা কোথা থেকে কত দূর জল গেছে।
I decided to start a children's park where we lived. I decided to start a children's park where we lived.
আমি সিদ্ধান্ত নিলাম যেখানে আমরা থাকি সেখানে আমি বাচ্চাদের খেলার একটি উদ্যান তৈরি করব।
However, the management wanted 4 6-story apartment buildings built there.
কিন্তু ম্যানেজমেন্ট সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছিল সেই যেই জায়গায় আমি পার্ক করব ভেবেছিলাম সেখানে 4টি 6 তলার বিল্ডিং তৈরি করবে।
We managed to convince them that it was more important to have a park for the children to play in.
কিন্তু আমরা কোনোভাবে তাদেরকে রাজি করাতে পেরেছিলাম যে বিল্ডিংয়ের থেকে বাচ্চাদের খেলার উদ্যান তৈরি করা অনেক বেশি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ।
I planted 2 banyan trees to bless the park.
আমি দুটো কলা গাছ লাগিয়েছিলাম যাতে সেই সেই ভূমি আশীর্বাদ প্রাপ্ত হয়।
I raised funds by getting donations and by receiving a commission for referring people buying apartments. I would sell apartments and get a commission for them. That's how I raised money to.
আমি কিছু ফ্ল্যাট বিক্রি করে যে কমিশন পেতাম এবং ডোনেশন জমা করে আমি সেই পার্ক তৈরি করার জন্য টাকা জমা করেছিলাম।
So Sankalpa Mataji also helped me by putting in some play equipment as well.
সংকল্প মাতাজিও আমাকে অনেক সাহায্য করেছিলেন সেই খেলার উদ্যানে নানা রকম খেলার উপকরণ রাখার জন্য।
We'd put a stage there and the children would do dramas, and the dramas were by the children for the children.
আমি সেই পার্কে একটি স্টেজও বানিয়েছিলাম যেখানে বাচ্চারা নাটক পরিবেশন করতো আর নাটকগুলো তৈরি হতো বাচ্চাদের দ্বারা এবং করাও হতো বাচ্চাদের জন্য।
In 1999, I had to leave Mayapur to go to Australia to care for my sick mother.
1999 সালে আমাকে আবার অস্ট্রেলিয়া ফেরত যেতে হয়েছিল যেহেতু আমার মা খুব অসুস্থ ছিলেন।
Then we went to Alachua for about 10 years, where the children went to school and began college.
সেখান থেকে আমরা লাচুয়া গেছিলাম এবং সেখানে 10 বছর ছিলাম যেহেতু আমার সন্তানেরা সেখানে পড়াশোনা করছিল।
When all the children were out of home, we returned to Mayapur in 2012, and I taught at the Smiths for a while.
যখন আমার সন্তানরা সবাই পড়াশোনায় ব্যস্ত ছিল আমরা 2012 সালে আবার মায়াপুরে ফেরত আসি এবং আমি কিছুদিনের জন্য শ্রী মায়াপুর ইন্টারন্যাশনাল স্কুলে পড়িয়েছিলাম, শিক্ষকতা করেছিলাম।
By this time, my second daughter, Neela, was married and had 2 children.
এই সময়ে আমার দ্বিতীয় কন্যা তার বিবাহ হয়ে গেছিল এবং তার 2টি সন্তান জন্ম হয়েছিল।
She wanted them to have the same kind of childhood that she had in Mayapur.
আমার দ্বিতীয় কন্যা চেয়েছিল তারা যে ধরনের বাল্যকাল মায়াপুরে কাটিয়েছে তার সন্তানরাও যাতে সেই একই রকম বাল্যকাল কাটাতে পারে।
Life moved on for them, and now they live in Hillsborough, North Carolina.
কিন্তু জীবন চলে ব্যতীত হয়েছে এবং তারা এখন নিউ ক্যারোলিনাতে থাকে, বিদেশে থাকে।
My main service now is to look after the children's park.
এখন আমার সবথেকে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ সেবা হচ্ছে বাচ্চাদের সেই খেলার পার্কটি দেখাশোনা করা।
So I'm helping to establish another children's park in Gornaga as well.
আমি গৌরনগরের যে আরেকটি শিশুদের খেলার উদ্যান আছে সেটা পরিচালনা করবার, সেটা দেখাশোনার কাজ করছি।
It's really needed there.
এটা খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ওখানে গৌরনগরের জন্য।
I feel greatly blessed to be able to live in Mayapur, especially with the great deity worship here.
আমি খুবই কৃতজ্ঞ বোধ করি মায়াপুরে থাকতে পেরে, বিশেষত মায়াপুরে যে বিগ্রহ সেবা সেসব দর্শন করতে পেরে।
So many. From 100 devotees, now there's 7,000 devotees.
100 জন ভক্ত থেকে এখন সেখানে 7,000 ভক্ত মায়াপুরে বাস করে।
The deity worship is going on so nicely because of Janani Vaspabu.
বিগ্রহ সেবা মায়াপুরে অতি সুন্দরভাবে পরিচালিত হচ্ছে।
I'm always amazed at how beautiful they are.
আমি সব সময় অবাক হয়ে যাই দেখে তারা কত সুন্দর।
My husband and I want to live our sunset years here in Mayapur. Sunset years, our last years in Mayapur.
আমি আর আমার স্বামী আমাদের জীবনের শেষ সময় অবধি মায়াপুরে কাটাতে চাই। হরি বল।
Just going to welcome marriage and then you both can continue speaking after that watch.
Sorry, forgive me for my mistake.
That was the last sentence. We can stay there.
awards, we will give. So what you want to give awards? So Maharaj, this is you give a short talk about. This is a program to recognize Mataji's contribution and service in Mayapur, and we will give some awards. And this is going to be the end of the program. Maha. Yes. So program this is organized by MCS to recognize contribution of Mataji's to development of Mayapur and this community.
Organized by MCS to recognize the Matajis who have contributed for the development of Mayapur.
And the general Mataji's contribution to development of Mayapur and importance in this community.
And the importance in this community. So he'll speak first.
Yes, and then we will give awards.
Namo Vaishnavadaya
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale
Srimate Bhaktivedanta
Saminiti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Devi
Gauravani Pracharine
Nirvishesha Sunyavadi
Paschatya Deshatarine
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sridhari
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Hare Namo Krishna
Yadavaya Namaha
Govinda Govinda Ram
Sri Madhusudana
Mokha Divajalam
Pangun Langayate Girim
Yakita Dhavan Vande
Sri Gurum Dinatarinam
Paramananda Madhavam
Sri Chaitanyameshwaram
Hare Om
Tat Sat.
So today is the MCS program
Today is the MCS program
to award and recognize the second generation ladies
to award very nicely the second generation ladies
for their important contribution
for their important contribution
to the
to the Mayapur community.
Of course, we have some of our first generation Prabhupada disciples.
Here there are also some first generation Prabhupada disciples.
And numerous contributions to the Mayapur community.
They have given enormous contribution to the Mayapur community.
So I offer my obeisances to all of them.
I offer my obeisances to all of them.
Well, I don't exactly know if we can actually recognize the service of devotees.
I don't recognize exactly the specific services of some of the devotees.
Because actually so many services are helping the Mayapur community.
But they have done so many services for helping the Mayapur community.
And at least are trying to recognize
At least we are trying to recognize
I don't know if everyone will get the proper recognition or not.
I don't know if everyone will get the proper recognition or not.
What you're doing to help to serve the deities, to serve Mayapur, that's a great significance.
What you are doing in serving the deities to help Mayapur, it is of great significance.
And whether everyone is recognized, but everyone has done something.
While everyone is not recognized, but everyone has done something.
And certainly, Radha Madhava, Panchatattva, they understand what you have done.
Certainly, Radha Madhav, Panchatattva, Srila Prabhupada, they understand what you have done.
The NCS and Mayapur is trying to recognize you also.
So MCS Mayapur is trying to recognize you also.
And since serving Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis is a great honor, so
Since serving Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis is a great honor,
and we like to recognize everybody for their service.
we would like to recognize everybody for their service.
Now, some devotees
Some devotees have some exceptional contribution to their service.
and so they've been recognized.
So they are being recognized.
And when I was in the military academy,
When I was in the Mayapur Academy, military academy,
and they give me awards.
they were giving the awards.
And, medals.
So they were giving many medals.
But actually, it's for our purification. We should recognize
But this is for our purification, that we recognize
what the devotees are doing.
what devotees are doing.
It's not, I mean, it may not be important to you,
It may not be important to you,
but it's important to us.
but it is very important to us.
We want to recognize
Everyone should be recognized
for the service that they're offering
for the service that they are offering
to Chanda, to Panchatattva, to the deities.
to Radha Madhava Ashtasaki, to Panchatattva, to the deities.
And Prabhupada was very pleased.
And Prabhupada was very pleased.
In the ninth canto, Srimad Bhagavatam,
In the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam,
Prabhupada mentioned,
purport Prabhupada mentions,
when it comes to Krishna consciousness,
when it comes to Krishna consciousness,
man, woman, Sudra, whatever, and no difference.
man, woman, children, or whatever, Shudras, there's no difference.
So, we should know that serving Krishna is the thing that is most important.
So we should know that Serving Krishna is the thing that's most important.
My father, when he heard I'll become a devotee,
My father, when he heard I'll become a devotee,
he said he would turn my name over to the American Army.
he said he will send my name over to the American Army.
I could die in Vietnam.
And I can die in Vietnam.
I come back right away and give up Krishna consciousness.
I can come back right away. I should give up Krishna consciousness.
So I asked Prabhupada what I should do.
So I asked Prabhupada what I should do.
And he said, better to be in Krishna's army.
He said, better to be in Krishna's army. Haribo.
So since then I joined the Krishna army.
Since then, I'm trying to be in Krishna's army.
And you know that in the modern armies, they have ladies also.
We know that in modern armies, there are ladies also.
But Tulsi Gabbard, she's a lieutenant.
But Tulsi Gabbard, she was a lieutenant.
No,
Ah,
Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Also, sir, also Lieutenant and Colonel, big difference.
Lieutenant and Lieutenant Colonel, big difference.
Anyway, you're all in Krishna's army.
Anyway, you're all in Krishna's army.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Oh, Ravindra Sarup, Pancharatna are also here.
Ravindra Swarup and Pancharatna Prabhu, they are also here.
So next we will request Maharaj to give the awards to the Vaishnavis. So who has the awards package? Gifts? Bihasya Mataji? So you will read the names, Mataji?
So we would first like to welcome Her Grace Naratri Mataji. So she has been doing Mala Seva in Sridhar Mayapur for 18 years now. She got initiated in 1987. And she has been serving in the guest house kitchen for over 16 years. Her Grace Naratri Mataji ki. The next awardee is Her Grace Shama Vallabi Mataji. She's not here today, but we would still like to appreciate her. So Shama Vallabi Mataji ki. So Her Grace, her sister, Her Grace Rasheshri Mataji will talk a bit about her. But next we would like to award Rasheshri Mataji, who became a devotee in 1983, came to Mayapur in 1991, and Mataji does accounting for the TOVP. She looks after Smith's administration. She cooks for His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. And she teaches in the Mayapur Academy in Gurukul. Her Grace Rasheshri Mataji ki. The next awardee we would like to call up is Her Grace Keshavi Mataji, who is a very dear devotee of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. Mataji has been serving in Sri Sri Radha Madhava's temple for over 37 years, making all the beautiful dresses that we see Radha Madhava wear has been designed by Keshavi Mataji. Her Grace Keshavi Mataji ki. The next awardee is Her Grace Bimalangini Mataji. Mataji has been doing Mala Seva for 25 to 26 years. And for many decades, she has also been behind the scenes doing vegetable cutting in Sulabh kitchen as service. So Mataji is an unsung hero of Mayapur. Her Grace Bimalangani Mataji ki. The next awardee is Her Grace Vakrishri Mataji. She has been living in Mayapur for around 25 years. She plays a very active role in the Mayapur Russian-speaking community, and she's regularly giving classes and writing guidebooks about Navarit Mandala Parikrama and Ekachakra Dham. The next awardee is Gorangi Kripamayi Mataji. Mataji is a very dear devotee of Sri Sri Jagannath in Rajapur, and she and her husband Nirmal Chaitanya Prabhu have been serving as the temple president since 2010 and taking very, very good care of Sri Jagannath and Baladev and Subhadra and Rajapur temple. Her Grace Gorangi Kripamayi Mataji ki. The next awardee is Her Grace Prayojana Mataji, who has been serving and really caring and who has been serving and nurturing Mayapur's devotees for the last 12 to 13 years. She's been acting as a nurse and taking care of many devotees' health and well-being. Her Grace Prayojana Mataji ki. The next awardee is Her Grace Vraja Bhakti Mataji. Mataji has been serving in the RCC Kids Department, and she's in charge of the kids programs during festivals and Sunday programs. She has 2 children herself, and she has a strong love for children and engaging them, creating Krishna-conscious games, quizzes, and dramas for the little Vaishnavas of Mayapur. And she has big dreams to attract to Mayapur children's teachers and build a big kids center here with different types of Vaishnava activities, sports, and clubs. Her Grace Vraja Bhakti Mataji ki. We would then like to welcome Her Grace Divya Leela Mataji. Mataji has been living in Sridham Mayapur since 2012. She is presently completing her Bhakti Vedanta, and she is the teacher of many Shastric courses in Mayapur Institute and other temples in India and abroad. Her Grace Divya Leela Mataji ki. Next, I would like to call up Her Grace Murari Mohini Mataji. Mataji has moved to Mayapur in 2018 and in 2021 established the very wonderful project of Mayapur Clean and Green, She's working tirelessly to improve Mayapur's environment and green ecosystem. Her Grace Murari Mohini Mataji ki. So these are 10 wonderful Vaishnavis who have been serving tirelessly in Mayapur behind the scenes for the last few decades. So we wanted to appreciate them all here today. If everyone can please give a big Haribol for these wonderful Vaishnavis.
Next, we have some gifts for some of our senior devotees who are working quite tirelessly for community, for MCS. So we have a gift for Nanda Krishna Prabhu and his wife. So Nanda Krishna Prabhu, he is a very exemplary a devotee in the community. His home in Ganganagar is like the local village panchayat. Practically speaking, any of the community devotees who have any trouble, legal, devotional, inter-neighbors, marital, etc., come to Prabhu's house any time of the day and night. In fact, there was always so much traffic at their home that Prabhu have moved down so that the rest of the family is not disturbed by constant guests and devotees looking for help. Thank you. Prabhu recently has entered also Vanaprastha ashram, so it's very, very nice to see how the community is developing like that. Bhaktajana Priya Prabhu is here. Bhaktajana Priya Prabhu? Oh, Meenakshi Mataji is here? Meenakshi Mataji, could you come forward? So Meenakshi Mataji is one of the organizers of today's program, so we are very, very grateful for her help. Next, if we can ask Gaurangi Devidasi, who is also one of the organizers, she helped to make this program successful. Gaurangi Devi. Next, Basudha Mataji. She also was instrumental in making this arrangement for today's program.
We are not appreciating enough. We need life.
Thank you, Prabhu. Next, Mandakini Mataji. And also we would like to thank Bihasya Mataji for helping to organize the program today. And of course, as His Holiness Japataka Maharaj mentioned, there are both men and women. So Ananta Sindhu Prabhu, who also was one of the instrumental organizers, please come and get your blessings from Japataka Maharaj. also thank you very much. Oh, Vishaka Mataji also. I somehow missed. Sorry. Arrivo! So I have been requested to give a vote of thanks, so I will do that. So Hare Krishna, assemble Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas. Of course, there is many other devotees here who have, as His Holiness Japataka Maharaj mentioned, have done a tremendous service for this community. Like Pancharatna Prabhu is sitting here, actually this very community hall that we are celebrating this event is who are here. Nonetheless, on the behalf of the organizing team and the co-directors, I wanted to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who has joined us here today to celebrate this wonderful Vaishnavi Day here at the Holy Land of Sridham Mayapur. First and foremost, I offer my humble obeisances and deep gratitude to His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj for his presence in this event, for his wisdom, blessings. Maharaj's words are always inspiring us to transcend the bodily concept of life and act on the platform of pure devotion. We are truly fortunate to receive his association today. I'm also Matajis, senior Prabhupada disciples, Matajis, who have made the effort to be here with us today. I sometimes have this imagination. I imagine Janava Devi, the transcendental wife of Nityananda Prabhu, and I had so many different ideas about her. But seeing all of you here sitting today, I think I'm a little bit closer in my understanding of the wonderful Vaishnavi service offered to this society. So thank you so much to all of you for being here today. I'm also very grateful to His Grace Brajvilas Prabhu for being here, giving a very inspirational and insightful introduction, and also inspiring us to make this program much, much bigger in the upcoming years. Thank you, Brajvilas Prabhu. A heartfelt congratulations and appreciation to all the Matajis who got this wonderful Savitri Awards. This is a devotional award for recognition of your wonderful organized by our MCS team, looking at the different neighborhoods in Mayapur and seeing different Matajis who have been very actively engaged in the service of Shishi Radha Madhava and this community. To your selfless devotion, hard work, and inspiring example, you have played an instrumental role in shaping and strengthening our spiritual community. Whether through DT service, outreach, education, prasad, distribution, administration, or community welfare, your service has been uplifted, and many of us have felt its lasting impact. We hope that many other Matajis and Prabhus will take inspiration from all of you. Haribol! I also pray that Shishi Radha Madhava, Panchatattva, and Lord Nrsingadev continue to bless all of you with unlimited enthusiasm, strength, and devotion as you continue on this noble path of devotional service. Mataji? Sorry?
Sorry to interrupt the program, but I don't know why Mother Rimati has taken care of the elephants and the cows for years and years, why she's not getting an award.
Because this is for second generation Mataji.
Second generation. Oh, you were telling me that, and I was telling you. I didn't get it. I apologize.
No, no, no.
You know, I'm old. You gotta expect this kind of thing to happen.
Yes, Rachidambara. So there was a question from Mataji. So this specifically, we are trying to outreach to second generation Matajis who have been blessed and inspired by all of you in the service, that they have been following in your footsteps and contributing to the service of Sridham Mayapur. Rachitambara Mataji also, she sending her apologies. She has a medical appointment early tomorrow morning in Calcutta, so she was not able to attend, but she's sending her blessings and her greetings to all of you, just in case some of you are wondering where is Rachitambara Mataji. I also wanted to thank the key contributors of this event who have come up with the idea and exerted the energy and efforts to organize the program. Special thanks to Nanda Krishna Das Vanachari and Amritamoyi Mataji, Bhakta Janapriya Prabhu, and others in the organizing team, including Aradhya Bhagavan Prabhu. Aradhya Bhagavan Prabhu. We also would like to thank to all the Matajis who have come for this event and all the Prabhus as well for participating. We hope that your participation and presence here will inspire all the devotees to continue with their service and extend their service. I would also like to thank the devotees who have sponsored this program with for the decorations and prasad. I pray to Shishi Radha Madhava, Shishi Panchatattva, Lord Narasimhadev for their divine blessings upon all the devotees present here today. Now, after this, we will conclude with the kirtan and prasad. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Oh, and I've been informed that we still have two Matajis, senior Matajis who haven't spoken, Yashomati Mataji and Vishwadika Mataji. So we'll request, sorry, I was not aware of Matajis to address before we continue with Kirtan and program.
Hare Krishna. I don't know who it is. First, I'd like to offer my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and seek the blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas that I may say something of some value in this opportunity. When I was asked to come and speak at a Mataji's award event, quite frankly, I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't join this movement to be a Vaishnavi. I actually really appreciated the idea of being seen as a spirit soul, not as a woman or as a man, or so I didn't know what to think, some sort of dichotomy, because I also appreciate the contributions that a mother has to make to the whole community, the whole society, by just the love she gives to her family. Then when I heard Braja Vilas speaking, and he kept talking about sacrifice, sacrifice, and I was just searching my mind, what sacrifice? What sacrifice? Sacrifice usually implies some pain. It implies something is not pleasant. But Lord Chaitanya's movement, the sacrifice that he is asking us to do, it's not really a sacrifice, it's really more like a choice. You know, so many lifetimes we've given to Maya, so many lifetimes we've spent just honoring our own senses and following them which way and which way they went. So it's a choice that we make. It's not a sacrifice. And the sacrifice that has been asked of us is to chant and dance. How difficult is that? What sacrifice is there? This is the sacrifice for this age, is to chant the holy name every day. On our japa and sing all the time, 24 hours a day really is the request. So either you're singing or chanting or glorifying Krishna, this is our life. And there's nothing sacrificial about it. It's all good. Nothing is hard about it. You just, the more you do it, the easier it is. I saw everybody else was speaking a little bit about their life and how it connected to Mayapur. I came here in 91 with my family, stayed here with them for 10 years, was away. Taking other people's children in my home to do homeschooling together and hiring different teachers for specialty. And it was within a matter of months that we started building a school for girls. Bihasya was part of that project. Tita Guna also was involved in that, others who are not here. So we established education for the youth of Mayapur. Then in 2001, I went overseas. We always have these visa issues. And I returned 2010, this time without my family. And I've been here since then, trying to dedicate myself to whatever Krishna throws my way. So I think I will stop here because we are severely behind schedule, and anyone who wants to speak to me privately, I'm here. I'm always here. Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So today is meant to be a day of appreciation for the role of women in society in general. And for us devotees, we can focus on the Vaishnavis and mothers of our ISKCON society who are actually doing great benefit for the whole world. And this must include cows. They are also our mothers. They're one of our mothers. Srila Prabhupada has told us this. So today we get to remember and appreciate how important service to cows is to our personal spiritual life and to human society. This means not just human society in general, but our ISKCON society also. Srila Prabhupada, I'm doing something wrong here. Srila Prabhupada wrote in the light of the Bhagavat, verse 27, those who are anxious to cultivate the human spirit must turn their attention first toward the question of cow protection. We live in a time of incessant conflict, abuse of every description toward humans, towards animals, toward plants, to the very atmosphere in which we live and breathe. These present conditions are not symptoms of progressive civilization. Srila Prabhupada tells us what is. He writes very clearly in Srimad Bhagavatam 1:19-3. Cow protection means feeding the Brahminical culture, which leads towards God consciousness and thus perfection of human civilization is achieved. So today, I want to express my appreciation for Mother Cow, for her sons, Dharma, who are abused all over the world. And I want to ask for forgiveness to Mother Cow for any offenses that I may have committed. And I desire to increase my service to them. So, if you desire, please join me in beginning this commitment by glorifying Mother Surabhi. Om Surabhiye Namaha. Om Nandi Keshavaya Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. It was very inspiring to hear from both of you the importance of Mother Cow, and of course some nice insight of how this community started. And the community started with Matajis providing education and care for the children of the community. So on behalf of the co-directors and MCS, I would like to take this opportunity to request all of you, especially all the Matajis who are here, to participate more, to get in touch with the management and take charge of this community so it becomes a loving, caring, and accommodative community as envisioned by Srila Prabhupada and all the great acharyas. So, space here for Maharaj to leave, and after that we will have a kirtan and prasad. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare